All right, so I spoke with the CEO of eRank, Anthony Wolf, and he asked me what are the things that I care about when I'm doing product and keyword research. And I'm going to share that with you in this video. Also, last week I've been looking through the website and I found those exact things that I told him in that video. Now, I don't know if that had an impact, the conversation that we had any impact on the website, but I was really, really excited that I could see those on the website. I'm not an affiliate. It's not an affiliate video. You're not going to see the link below, but I'm going to put a logo here so you know what company I'm talking about. This has been exciting because when I'm doing product or keyword research, I don't care what product I'm going to sell. In fact, a lot of sellers actually know what they're going to sell. They just need to know how should that product look? What color should it have? Again, I'm going to go through these things in this video. And I remember talking to him about these things. Now, he initially wanted to know more about my suspensions because I was going through suspensions at that time. And he wanted to know more details about it. And his business really relies on Etsy and where is it going, the health of Etsy. And but then he asked me just questions like when you're doing product or keyword researching, what do you look for? What are the details that you look for? And because he wants to make sure that his, it's a tool, that it's a tool that is actually helping. And now when I am also a manufacturer for other sellers, so I can see behind the scenes of what other sellers are doing and what's the impact on their sales. And little simple things like thumbnail, the way your product looks, the design of your product really, really makes the big difference. And when he asked me the question, what are the things that I cared about? I said a few things. I need something that can help me design the product, help me design the shell of the product. So if you do print on demand, this is very important for you. Or if you are, if you've invested into equipment, into inventory, where you can't just jump to another product, you can't just jump ship from one product to another. You really want to know should your product look like. So I told him, well, I need a tool that will help me design the patterns on my dog collars because I sell dog collars and I will be selling dog collars for a long time. I need to know what color will do better on the marketplace. What styles will do better? Are we looking at something simpler or something a bit more maximalistic? And then I told him, well, who's the customer that is buying this? Who's the receiver? And understanding the receiver of your product will really allow you to be designing accordingly. Who's more likely to buy it? So if you're buying a kid's product, maybe you should target more girl. Maybe you should target boy. Maybe it's a half and half and you should have both in the thumbnail. Like I said, thumbnail is really going to make the difference between you getting high amounts of click-through rate. And I talk about click-through rate so big on this channel because it is one of the best metrics for the algorithm to identify whether your product is working on certain keywords or not, because that's customers are confirming your product that yes, this is appropriate for what I'm looking for in the keyword, birthday favor gifts. And so if you've targeted, say, girls and more on the thumbnail than boys, and you've got it right, and you're more likely to get more clicks when you do a girl themed thumbnail, well, you're gonna get a higher click-through rate. And a higher click-through rate means you're gonna rank better. And you're gonna have customers that will buy the boy version of the variation that you might have in the listing, but you're getting a better click-through rate. So these kind of things are super, super important. And I told him I really need a tool that helped me design the thumbnail, design the materials, look into maybe my customers more, look into the colors that they might be interested in more. These are the things that I care about. And I remember he got excited about it. Now, he didn't tell me what he's going to do about it, but last week I logged into eRank and I'm just kind of looking around because, you use similar tools and you use kind of certain sections of eRank and sometimes you don't explore the other parts of the website. And I decided to explore. Now, I don't know if he had them before our conversation or he added it after, nor if I had anything to do with it, but it was really cool to see these things. So let me jump on the computer and show you where I'm seeing this and why I think this is super, super cool and where you guys can access this. All right, so I don't know if this could be found on the free version or not, but you guys could check it out. But go on tools, or I'm sorry, trends, and then trend buzz, okay? When you go on trend buzz, you have these things right here. And this is exactly what I told him about. This is literally what again, he might have had it and he maybe could have said, hey, I already have this stuff, but it's really cool. Let me kind of go through them and see and show you how you can apply them. Okay, so keywords is pretty obvious, right? The past 30 days, these were the keywords. Now, here's what I would say. If you are an eRank staff and you're watching this video, I think it would be really cool to have 30 days in the future of last year, because a lot of times people need to know what they should put right now to sell in the future, right? Because you need to get a listing ready right now. And so now I know that it'll show you some of this stuff, but I would love to see keywords that are going to happen, like Mother's Day, maybe in next 30 or even 2 months or 3 months, because that's kind of how you need to get products ready. So that's one thing I would say. It would be really cool if you can do 30 days in the future of last year, something that will help us prepare for what we should post, because this doesn't give us anything as far as what we could be posting so that we get future sales. Just one of the details. So when you are using this, just know this is past information. But again, this is still super, super valuable. Okay, so first one is color. This is really great. And so now pink, all of a sudden, that's because of the Valentine. So take this with a grain of salt. But this is really cool. Now, the keywords might be because there's a lot of jewelry that's being sold. So if you are selling jewelry, should you sell black or silver jewelry, or should you sell gold? Well, you'll see that gold really performs. Now, black also performs, but you don't know if black is associated with jewelry. It could be associated with other things. Now, I'm selling dog collars, so my components are gold and black. Which one should I have as thumbnail? Well, this might nudge me to think maybe gold would do better. And here's the thing. I've always put black as my thumbnail buckle or hardware. Kind of when I'm doing photography, I need to decide between should I do gold or should I do black. And for the past year, I've actually switched over to gold as being on my thumbnail, because I found my sellers, because like I said, I do manufacture for other sellers. I've seen that they do really well with gold buckles. Again, there's some of the sellers that I have that use black buckles as the thumbnail, and they do really well. So it's not necessarily, I would say, definitively, but this kind of tracks that gold does seem to be a more appropriate. Now, it could be that the customer type is female and they're more interested in gold. And now we'll find out in the recipients and the style who this customer is, and this is going to be super valuable information. But if you're thinking of how should you design, open this list up and let this kind of inspire you where you should take your designs. Again, this is not definitive. Take it with a grain of salt. It's really in the eye of the beholder. It's the way you interpret this data. But if some of this information really applies to your product, this is a good one. Like I said, this black and gold does apply to my product, and it has shown that gold is more appreciated than black, just the way it worked for me. Okay, so that's really cool. The next one is product. Now, product is pretty straightforward. This is basically what eRank is as a whole. What do people care about? So I really didn't really use that one as much. The recipient is really good. Who's going to receive our product? Baby, men's, and dog. You know what this tells me? That females are buying this mostly on Etsy, and mostly our females are going to be buying for their husband or for their for the gift for him. Is going to be for their baby, room decorations. Now, there's some dudes that are a bit feminine and they care about the stuff, but majority, if we're being completely honest, I wouldn't really care about decorating my kids' room. However, for the Christmas gift for my kids, this year was a redecoration of their room. I got them jungle gyms and I got them new beds. So I guess I'm kind of hypocritical in that sense. But when it comes to like decorative stuff, really my wife took over on that end. And so I would say dog would be something that could be both, but I find that in that space, since I am in that space, I would also argue that females are the ones that are buying more for their dogs than men for their dogs. Just one of the details. Men are totally fine going to Petco and getting a nylon dog collar just to get the job done. So this is really cool. This gives you an idea on how you should position your product. So this is really, really cool. Okay, styles. This is when I saw this is kind of what it triggered me. Like, hey, I wonder if that conversation had anything to do with this, because this is really, really great. Floral watercolor. Even you can even combine these two, but just to know that these styles do better on the marketplace gives you an idea where should your starting point be. Or if you're getting ready for the holiday season, you can make, say, a Christmas dog collar, but then make a watercolor version of that product. Retro, hey, you can do a female and a male dog collar, but maybe do a retro version of that collar, right? Because that style is maybe looked for. Now, when you click on this stuff, it'll take you to the keyword research portion of eRank, which still helps. But this, again, gives you kind of a guidance on when you're creating your designs, which way should you go? I mean, you can even take this whole list and create versions of whatever product you're designing, versions of this. Now, here's how I would do it. On recipients, I would really think about what thumbnail should I be putting. who's my customer and what are they more likely to click on, and recipients slash colors will be the kind of the determiner factors of what I'm going to be doing. Styles is going to help me to guide which style of product, how the design of the product should look like overall. Okay, so this is super helpful. um, and again, this would be really cool if it was 30 days in the future. That way I'd know what to prepare for. But it still gives you a really good idea what people are interested in. So, and then the materials, this is really important if you do have the luxury to go from one material to another, and you should say, should I make this key tray out of leather or out of wood? And then you find that, hey, leather seems to be more interested. I'm going to do a leather. Or if you're doing groomsmen's gift, right? If you're doing bottle openers and you're thinking, should I buy because you're buying something and maybe you're engraving it. Should I buy it made out of wood, or should I buy a metal bottle opener that's wrapped with leather? And you look at this, maybe that could nudge you to more leather than wood. So this is kind of really, really good stuff. Or if you're thinking of, should I make a gold lettering, or should I do silver lettering? Oh, gold is a much better search, and you find out here even in the colors, you see that gold is performing. Hey, I'm going to do gold lettering on if you are thinking of different options. So this kind of stuff is really good. Now, again, this is important to understand that this is in the eye of the beholder. It's really how you're interpreting this data. This is not conclusive. It's not definitive. It is just giving you information. And here's the thing. It's really hard to quantify this information. That's why when you select 7 days, all of that disappears, because you need a large enough sample size in order to make those let those keywords start popping up, or these details start popping up. Now, I don't know how much data has been collected even in the 30 days to give us this information and how accurate it is, let alone for us to be able to interpret it. But this is still super, super helpful. And so yeah, give this a go. If you have a free version, let me know if this is accessible. If not, try the basic plan. Again, I'm not an affiliate with them, but I do want to help you guys out. This channel is all about giving you the tools that I use so that you can be successful on Etsy. So if you like this video, give me that like. Really smash that thumb. Subscribe for more videos. By the way, you guys have been commenting on my audio, and I put a microphone here. Hopefully this is much better. All right, subscribe, and I'll see you later.